Okay, very good morning to you all. Uh, Here we are in the research methodology course units. Already we completed 5 lectures uh, relating to research problem, how to identify research problem, and how to arrange your research topic, and how to design your work, right? Then how to summarize your literature results. All are discussed. Then that part was discussed by Professor Tilagaratna. Uh, I think you were with that it is proved by it was proved by your presentation. We saw that interesting presentations, and also we gave you some comments on that presentations. Now I think you already completed that part. Then that is those are the important segments under this research methodology. Then first of all you have to identify that research topic well, then research issues, and also research objective. You have to establish that research objective. Then you already completed that part. Now actually you already completed 50% of your research. If you are arranging that research work in that way, that mean as per your presentations, we have that mean almost very good presentations and very good content. You have very good, that mean timeliness, timely topic, right? Then you already completed 50% of your task. Then again I need to say you, then at that time we gave you our as a panel, we gave you some comments. Then your task is, your responsibility is to accommodate that that recommendations and comments, right? Then you can prepare a revise research proposal. Then we can say you already completed 50%. Proposal means your plan. You already prepared your plan. Now you have a plan. Now you have to implement it, right? Then that's why I told that now you already completed 50%, right? Then it is your responsibility. Right now already we assign supervisors, then you can meet them and you can discuss with them. Further you can add. Now then complete research proposal mean day by day you can see similar very small changes, but already almost you have complete research proposal. That is the idea behind that. Now in this segment, then Professor Tilagaratna has done that. That means research, then identification, how to identify research, and how to then identify that research issues, and how to then analyze previous research, and also then how to prepare your research proposal. What is the content of that research proposal, right? As per that, as per those content, you already got that idea, and you got and you prepared very good presentations and proposal. Right now my responsibility is to just help you to analyze that data. Then we cannot analyze data without just collecting and collecting data, and without that mean designing your research work, right? At that time, now here our main task is to design your research work. After designing your research work, right? Designing, that means research work mean data collection process. We have to think about the data collection process. Then what are the data collection method? What are the sources of data? Then what are the reliable sources of data? Then what are the data collection method? And sometimes we have to use two or more data collection method parallelly. That is depend on our research work, right? Research topic and research problem, right? Then we have to think about that. And also after collecting that data in proper way, then we have to analyze them. Then we have number of analysis method, right? If you know, yes, if you have remember that statistics, at that time we discussed number of analysis method and models. Now under the econometrics also, Dr. Madhura Perum, I think she discussed that econometrics model, right? then we have to again we have to pay attention on that, and also among them we have to select most suitable analytical tool for your research. There may be number of analytical tools, but your responsibility is to select an appropriate statistical test, appropriate statistical analysis. That is the way. Now, no need to, now most of the researchers, they are trying to use advanced statistical analysis or test. That is not a way of identifying your research. Then if your research, yes, if your research is based on correlation or regression, that means relationship or the association study, that means purpose of your research, then your purpose may be to measure the association or the relationship. Or in some cases, you need to predict about the future situation, and also your task is to forecast about future situations or predict about the future situation, future results, right? In some cases, you need to identify the differences between the before and after particular task, or before and after train program. Then if I think about your organization, they are providing number of training programs for you. Then after introducing or the conducting that type of training program, then the institute or the company, they need to identify whether it is success or not. Right? At that time, we have to compare two results before the the performance before the training program, and after the performance after the training program. Then we can compare by using statistical tests. Right? Not only that, now another thing, now you can see number of that means categories of your organization. If you take very small question, now your task is to identify the salary anomalies or the income differences between male workers and female workers, not only the salary, income, total income, right? Then normally we have some that mean idea. Then males earn more than that female, no? That is the idea. But we don't have enough data or information for that. Then if you have that type of doubt, then your task is to collect data in proper way, and you can test them. Again, we can use statistical tests for testing them. Then independent sample t-test. Again, we have some criteria to select them. Further, we can discuss them. Right? Then, by considering that type of matters, then we can identify appropriate statistical test. That is the main task under this discussion, right? I have 4-5 lectures. Within that period, I try to give you that idea, then how to select an appropriate statistical test for your research. Sometime, as I told earlier, your purpose of your research, you can see different idea. Now, if I think about your one, your task is to measure the existing situation by using that mean descriptive statistics, right? No need to apply very advanced statistical test. Just if you need to mention that percentage analysis or measures of central tendency, as we discussed at the previous year, then you can sometimes you have to use mean, median, mode, right? Then standard deviation, variance, right? It is dependent on your study, right? No need to try to apply advanced statistical test, right? That is depend on the purpose of your research. Then if it is tally with your purpose, then we have to apply that type of standard, that means advanced statistical analysis or the test, right? Now don't come with that statistical test, come with your purpose, right? Then if it is suitable, then you can select that type of advanced statistical test or the descriptive statistical test, or advanced statistical test also have number of categories, then parametric statistical test, non-parametric statistical test. Then we have some criteria to select parametric and non-parametric. If you have parametric assumptions, if you then if your data fulfill that requirement, parametric assumptions, then you can follow parametric test. Otherwise, you have to move to that non-parametric test. That is the way of identifying an appropriate statistical test. In the same time, you may have to apply two or more statistical tests, parametric as well as non-parametric, or two or more parametric tests, right? Not only one test. That is depend on your research purpose and objectives. You may have number of objectives now, right? Then you have to apply, sometime you have to apply correlation, regression, then independent sample t-test, right? You may have to apply them, right? Then that is depend on your purpose. Purpose is the most important one, right? I will explain that criteria, right? Purpose is the most important one. Most of our researchers, postgraduate students, they are ignoring that purpose, starting from the analysis, right? Then I think I saw that previous presentation, well organized presentations. Then at that time, I think you already learned about that process, right? Process here. Further, I need to link them, link with the previous session conducted by Professor Tilakaratna, right? Then I link. I got some details. You already learned about this process. These are not new things for you. Actually, already discussed by the previous classes, right? Here now we can see different approaches, different steps, right? We don't have hard and fast rule for arranging this process, right? But generally you can take this type of process, right? Now you can see problem stated. Now first of all you have to identify these issues. Now you already have done that task, right? Then literature review, right? Then we had reviewed that literature, right? Then sound literature review is very much important, right? As per your previous presentation, we saw that literature survey into some extent. Further, when you are doing research, then further you have to increase number of research article and previous research, and it is better to prepare research, that means literature summary, right? Then you can identify how they conduct that type of lectures and research, and how they identified their objectives, right? How they identified their analytical tools and sample selection procedure, the data collection method. All you can gather from that type of previous research, right? Then you completed that part, but not 100%, I think. Then further you have to think about the other literature, right, to improve your proposal. Then you have to finalize that proposal then based on that comment from the previous presentation. Then hypothesis formulated. When in some research we have to formulate that hypothesis, right? Then we have to, if we are considering about the about quantitative analysis, then we have to think about that too. Then we have to design our research process before collecting data and analyzing data. First task is to collect, then we have to design that process. Then how to decide your sample size, then how to collect your data, then what is the sampling method, right? Then what are the data collection method? There are maybe number of methods, right? Then you have to select one or few among them, right? Then data analysis, right? Now we have to analyze data. Finally, you can prepare a report, right? This is the process. Now you already completed considerable part of that. Another classification, I told that now there's no hard and fast steps, but another classification process here. I got this details from book. Now identify research topic, define research problem, determine how to conduct research. That is the designing part, right? Then collect research data, analyze and interpret your research. Then after analyzing, now I told that how to then further we have that separate slides for identifying that criteria for identifying your statistical test. Then after considering them, you can identify proper statistical test on a statistical analysis method. Then you can analyze them. You can take output by using software package, right? After getting them, your task is to interpret them. You should be able to interpret that results, right? That is also very much important, right? Then now first task is to input, identify the correct input, how to collect that data and correct input, then input, then process, then finally you can see the output, then you can interpret that output, right? Further we can discuss. Again, you have to write your dissertation, right? Right. This is the research designing. Now I started from that point, right? Now you already completed previous part of that steps. Then a research design is a framework for collecting, analyzing, and interpreting research data. Now this is the summary of that research design, right? This is a summary. I think very much clear about that definition, right? Very clear there. Then what is the content of this research design? You have to design about the data collection process, yes, including sampling and other things. Then analyzing, then how to analyze your data. Then after getting that output, then what are the how to interpret that results. Then these are the content of that research designing part. Here, normally this is the structure of your thesis or dissertation, right? Again, I need to say now there's no hard and fast rule, but we have some general idea, right? Then introduction should be there, introduction or the background of your study. Then literature review and the theoretical background should be there, right, in your dissertation. Then methodology part should be there, right? Then results or the analysis, right? Now in some cases you can see results or the analysis and presentation, right, of your data, or you can gather these two, results and the analysis, right, or the findings and conclusion, right? References and appendices you can add, right? This is the general classification or structure of your dissertation, right? You can further we can discuss how to write them. There's a separate session for that, right? Now this is the good argument relating to this research, good versus poor research, right? Then before completing your research, before implementing your data collection process and other tasks, right, it is better to consider these matters also, right? Right. If you think about good research, now we can compare features relating to the good research and poor research. Then good literature review should be there. You already completed that part, but I need to remember again because it is very much important, right? Now under the poor condition, poor literature review, right? Then unorganized or the poor literature review. Then normally when you are doing your research, at least you should have directly relevant research, number of research, 30, 40 or 50 research, right? You can gather that information nowadays. It is easy to collect data or collect research article from the web, right? Then if you have that university web details, and you can go to the university web and you can collect that literature, previous research. And also open sources, you can see Google, and you can search from Google and you can identify some research article relating to directly to your research, right? Then that is the way of, then without doing that part, I can give you a good that means contemporary issues and research topic for you, right? But that is not a way of doing research. You have to search literature. If you have sound literature survey, You have clear idea about the topic, how to organize your research topic, how to organize your research problem, right? Then how to establish your objectives, research objectives. Then what are the relevant analytical tools for that research, and what are the data collection method, right? We can sometime we have to use then qualitative research, qualitative data. Then how to collect that qualitative data? Then if we need to collect that mean very much confidential and secret data, then it is difficult to collect data, that type of data through questionnaire. Most probably we are using questionnaire for collecting primary data, right? But in some cases we have to arrange some focus group discussion, key informant discussion, face-to-face interviews, or direct observation, right? Now 2 or 3 days before I heard that then to the Colombo city there were 500,000 vehicle in yes, come to the Colombo city from various ways, right? Then they are observing them. They are marking them, how many heavy vehicles, how many cars, how many motorcycles, likewise. They are observed within 6 to 7, 7 to 8, right, morning and evening. Then they are observing and they are marking them by using our students, university students or the school students. Then they are doing that type of research. Then based on that results, they are going to introduce solution for that. A separate that mean one way or the then they are using a different technique to solve that issue, right? Then that is the way of collecting data. At that time, can we collect that data from questionnaire? It is not suitable, right? Then if we need to collect data from that mean very rural area or Daban area, you know that, no? Daban area, then we have to think about their literacy level, right? At that time it is difficult to collect data from questionnaire, right? Then we have to go to that type of places, right? Geographical different places. Then we have to discuss with them. At that time it is better to apply than face-to-face interview or self-administrative questionnaire. Self-administrative questionnaire. We can prepare well a structured questionnaire, then we can discuss with them. They are using different language, no? You know that, no? They are using different language, right? Actually this data collection process and this research are very interesting part. But we are getting, that mean we are using that mean wrong approach for that. Therefore, we are thinking that is a burden for our day-to-day activity. Actually, that is a very interesting part. You can do that thing without having some kind of doubt or hesitation. You can do that task. First of all, clearly you have to identify your problem, your literature, and your analytical tool, sampling method. Clearly you have to identify, right? Then some are trying to pass the examination or complete your research degree. That is not a way of doing research. That is an interesting part. You can do that, right? Then you should have clear research proposal. If then you completed 50%, that means you know A to Z. That means you know about the about your research. That means A to Z you have clear idea. Or that means 100% you have clear idea about your research process. Then you have to implement them, right? Then again I need to say first point. Then good literature or sound literature survey is very much important for your research, right? Then you can identify all the process of that type of research. Now you are getting information or the previous research related to you, no? Your topic, no? Then directly you can identify what they apply, that mean apply for collecting data, then data analysis process, uh, objectives, how to establish their objectives, research objectives, and how to organize their problem statement and research topic. All you can manage through sound literature survey, right? Next, sound primary research, right? Then we have to have some pilot research, right? Then you can prepare a questionnaire and you can send it to the very small sample. You can send it to the small sample and you can collect them. Then you can identify whether they are identifying that questions well or misunderstanding. You all can decide it. Further, you can revise that questionnaire, right? Again, you can prepare final or the revised questionnaire. Then you can go for the final research, right? Then logical structure, right? We have to have logical structure for all the process of your research, and also very well structured document you should have. That means structure of your research or the dissertation. Then next one, now I need to mention, right? Actually, you already discussed first three matters. Now I need to discuss this one. Analytical, it should be a analytical one, right? We have to then we have to analyze them qualitatively or quantitatively, right? But in some cases we have only descriptive, that means discussion. Then if you have clear idea, clear data analysis method, then you can convince that matter into the relevant parties or the users of research output, right? Then theory integrated. Then when you are doing your research, you have to have some theories. I think I have remember that your topic was value relevance, no? Value relevance. Then there are a number of value relevance theories, right? Models, right? Then in your case also same. Then you have to identify that type of theory. Then if you ignore that type of theory, then it was not a good research, right? Then underpinned by conceptual framework. Then you should have clear conceptual framework, right? Conceptual framework for showing that dependent variable, independent variable. In some studies, we cannot see dependent and independent relationship. But if you have, then in most of the quantitative research, we can see that type of dependent and independent relationship, right? Then we have to consider most. Then actually, if you have remember that previous discussion on business statistics, right? I got that example. Then the relationship between advertising cost and sales, right? Then and also sales depend on different types of independent variable, not only advertising, then the quality of the product, then image of the institution or the company or the product, right? Then that means availability. There are a number of factors, no? There are a number of factors relating to that turnover, the sales. Then we have to think about that dependent and independent relationship. The integration between methodology, analysis and conclusion, right? In some research, then the research problem ask different thing. Then objectives go to different way, right? Then conceptual framework identify different variables. Then finally, conclusion not tally with the research problem. Then find it. We have to tally that objectives and the findings. No? Objectives of research mean these are the main purpose of our research. Then we have to fulfill that requirement. We have to achieve that objectives, right? then purpose within the that means after completing our research, then we have to consider these matters if we are expecting to handle good research, conduct good research. Now these are the matters relating to poor research, right? Then we have to think about the left hand side matters. Then this is the approximate time allocation for research. Now already you completed main things: identify research topic, identify research problem, determine how to conduct research, right? Then collecting research data, analyzing and interpreting data, right? Then these are, yes, most probably 40% of your research, 40% of research, right? Then again we have to pay attention on that matter. Then it should link with the topic, research, and, and the results. Right. Now, data analytical method or the tools, right? There are number of data analytical method, right? Then some are parametric, some are non-parametric, some are descriptive statistics, some are inferential statistics, right? Then there are number of things. Now here, our task is to identify this analysis process and how to test in that type of hypothesis. If we have quantitative research, then most probably we have to think about the statistical test. Now first step is to choose an appropriate statistical test, then how to identify that statistical test. Next task is to yes, perform that type of statistical test through software. Nowadays we are not using manual process, manual calculation, right? Then within 1 second we can take the output, right? Only thing is we have to decide your databases and enter or the feed your data into the software. After doing that task, within 1 second you can take the output, right? The important task for that time at that time is to interpret your results, right? Then finally make conclusion based on that results. We can conclude about the study, right? Right. Then I think you have remember this classification, statistics. Then there are a number of statistical tools. Then we can divide this into mainly we can divide into descriptive and inferential. Descriptive statistics, you can see percentage analysis, measures of central tendency. Under that category, you can see that mean, median, mode. There are a number of measurement. Then measures of dispersion. Under that category, you can see range, mean deviation, standard deviation, variance, coefficient of variance. There are a number of measurements. Then when you are doing your research, in some cases you can use only the descriptive measures, right? In some cases you have to use then inferential statistics, right? Including parametric or non-parametric analysis. In some cases you have to use parametric as well as non-parametric techniques. In some cases you have to use descriptive as well as inferential technique. That is depend on your research objective, mainly your research objective and the topic, right? Right. Now I am not going to discuss what are the steps on this descriptive statistics and definitions on descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Actually you already have done that part under the business statistics. Then however I included that part into your slides, right? You can refer them. Then under the inferential statistics you can see some t-test and analysis of variance, Pearson relations, linear regression, multiple regression. There are a number of analytical tools. Then if you move to the non-parametric test, there are a number of additional test. Now this is the way of applying inferential statistics. We have large population of interest. Out of that population of interest, we can gather a representative sample. Right now, if you see this picture, right, picture related to this population and sample, you can see different color color buttons here, right? Then you can, if you refer that sample, you can see each and every colors represent by colors are represented by the yes sample sample, right? Then you can see this is called representative sample, representative samples. Then when you are doing your research, you have to careful with that matter. As much as possible, you have to collect representative sample. Then some are doing research for Sri Lanka. In your research topic, you can see the name of Sri Lanka, but you are collecting data from Gampaha, right? Or getting data from 5 small companies, right? It is not representing at least 1% of the population, right? But you are going to generalize into the country, right? That is wrong, right? Therefore, we should have representative sample, right? Then here, these are the content of inferential statistics, estimations and hypothesis testing. Further, we can discuss. And also, this is also not a new slides. Already we discussed this matter under business statistics. What is the difference between descriptive statistics and inferential statistics? Actually, we gathered information or data from outsiders, respondents, right? Then that is called raw data. Raw data we can convert into information by arranging your data in proper way. Then that is called descriptive statistics. But further, we can convert this information into knowledge by identifying different kind of analytical tools. Then inferential, the parametric or non-parametric tools. That is called knowledge. Now we can convert information into knowledge by using statistical inferences. It may be parametric or non-parametric. Finally, that knowledge we can use for decision or make conclusion about the study, right? That is the process of descriptive and inferential statistics. If you have any doubt, you can ask, right? Then I am not going to discuss. Now this is also included. Now here, these are the main measurements under the descriptive statistics. We already discussed this matter, right? Now in this time we have to apply them, right? Yeah. Then how to use that now, and also I need to mention about very important matter. Some researchers and our postgraduate students, they are mixing that analytical tools and the presentation method. We can present data through tabular approach or the graphical or chart through chart, no? But those are not analytical tools, right? Percentage analysis is okay. Percentage you can use as descriptive measure. But if you have a tabular approach or chart or graph, all are data presentation method, right? Then don't put that type of graph and chart under the data analysis method or the data analytical tools, right? When you are preparing your final research proposal, don't mention that. Now you can say that you are going to present that data through graph and chart. That is correct, but you cannot analyze through graph and chart, right? Yeah, you can see that details how to use that measures of location. Measures of location mean measures of central tendency, right? Measures of variance mean measures of dispersion, right? How to use for the categorical data, how to present them. Here, graphical illustration, graphical presentation here, descriptive statistics here. Then you can see difference between statistics, that mean statistical tools, and the presentation. Here this is presentation. Categorical data you can present through bar chart, cluster chart, or the right. There are a number of method for continuous data, histogram, box plot, then scatter diagram. There are a number of method for presenting data. There are a number of method for analyzing data, right? They don't mix them. Right. Now, next important task is to uh, select an appropriate statistical test. How to choose the right statistical test or test, right? How to choose them, right? There are a number of parametric tests and non-parametric tests. These are the parallel tests. Now, most probably we can see parallel non-parametric test for parametric test, right? Most probably we have. Then our task is to identify relevant statistical tests. For example, now you can see Pearson correlation coefficient to measure the relationship between two quantitative variables. Now, if we need to measure the relationship between sales and advertising cost, you can use Pearson correlation coefficient. But if you need to measure the perception of two judges or rank of two judges, right? You have rank data or preference for two that mean commodity, right? You can see 1, 2, 3 like that. You can see some particular order, right? Then again we have rank data. If you have rank data and your objective is to measure the association or the relationship, then you cannot apply Pearson correlation because your data in rank level, right? Then you have to go to that Spearman's rank correlation coefficient, right? Then you can see parallel non-parametric and parametric test. Now already you applied Pearson correlation and Spearman correlations under your business statistics subject, right? Now we need to understand what are the relating to that parametric category and non-parametric category. Then what are the relevant category or relevant measurement or relevant analytical tool for our research. Then first of all we need to understand about scale of our measurement, right? Then in the same questionnaire you may have nominal level data, name, district, gender, eye color. Then we discuss number of variable relating to that nominal category. Some are ordinal, right? Strongly disagree to strongly agree. Then you can see Likert scale questions. Most of the management research we are using Likert scale. Then to measure the satisfaction, job satisfaction, right? To measure the motivation or the happiness. Then we have to use questionnaire with that particular scales, Likert scale. We can see particular order, good, better, best. We discussed, no? Then we can see strongly disagree to strongly disagree, disagree, moderate or the neutral. Then agree, strongly agree. Then we can see particular order, right? At that time we have to use that Spearman's rank correlation coefficients. Right? Then again we have to think about our data, right? In the same data set, same questionnaire, if you are going to collect primary data, you can see that type of measurements, right? Nominal, ordinal. Not only that, the interval. We got that most suitable example for that. What is that? Yes, temperature. No. That means realistic mean for that 0. The temperature 0 mean it has some value, right? Then we have some further we can discuss, right? Then that type of measurements, interval or ratio level data, all other quantitative data, then height, weight, then expenditure, income, number of customers, number of units, all are ratio level quantitative data. Right? Then we have quantitative, qualitative. Also, we can divide that nominal and ordinal. Quantitative we can divide into interval and ratios. Likewise, then that classification is very much important. Very first day we discussed that matter under that business statistics subject. But Today also we are discussing them. Those are very much important for selecting your statistical research test, right? Test for your research, right? There are a number of common statistical tests, descriptive as well as parametric and non-parametric statistical test. Then how to identify that type of statistical test, that is the most important thing, right? Now if I ask that question from you, then briefly tell me your research topic can identify the statistical test. Sorry, IFR 7. Yes, financial instruments disclosures. Then what kind of approach, that mean statistical approaches, that mean how you plan to apply? Hmm. 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 Are there any differences between that mean before and after situations? No, you are, yes. At that time, you can measure that. Here, you can use some statistical test, right? Before and after. Now, generally, you can use percentage analysis, descriptive statistics, right? In addition to that, if we need to compare that before situation and after situation, as I told earlier, then performance before the training program and after the training program, I got that details, no? Then for again same application you also can use, right? Then you can use t-test for normal data. If it is following normal distribution, after collecting data you can test the normality. If it is yes, then you can go for the independent sample, paired sample t-test, otherwise you can go to the that mean Wilcoxon sign rank test, right? There are separate sign rank tests. After discussing them, I think then you can get clear idea, right? One by one we have to discuss. Today that just we identify the scope of that analysis, right? Don't misunderstand. We already completed parametric and non-parametric test. Then I cannot identify. I don't know about the content of each method. Mann-Whitney U test, Kruskal-Wallis test. Already we discussed, but we don't know idea about that. You can say like that, right? That is not a way. Now today we identify the scope. After that, now I have another 4 lectures. Within that period, step by step, we can discuss that matters, right? That tools. Okay. Now this is the most important thing. Now, if you refer number of books, it is actually difficult to identify. That mean this criteria, right? Some criteria we got from books, and some I took from my experience, right? Then we cannot say now we have to start at this point. Now first one is here as per my first thing, second thing. Now this is not a order, particular order, but these are the criteria for selecting statistical test. Now how to choose right statistical test? Now these are very much important. Please keep these slides or notes. Uh, then those are very much important for deciding your research method, right? Then first task is to just first criteria is here as mentioned. What your research question asking? Now already you decide research question, research objectives, then justification for that research problem, and you already provide that that mean analytical tools. Then that mean expected analytical tools. Now you are in the middle level. That mean you have that research proposal. Now you have clear idea about your research question, right? Research question. Now, what is the question? Or otherwise, you can say purpose of your research. What is the purpose? Then, if I ask the question, what is your purpose? Yes. That is the purpose. If you move to you, decision. Then value relevance of accounting information and relationship between value relevance of accounting information and investors decision, right? Then that is the main purpose. Now here, impact of macroeconomic factors on stock returns, right? Then here he need to uh, that mean predict about the that mean you need to measure the impact, right? Impact of macroeconomic factors on stock return, right? And again, that is the main purpose, right? About you. Financial performance on working capital management, right? Here again impact, right? Some are relationship, right? Some are differences. Those are the purposes. Purpose may be association or the relationship, or impact, or differences. Are there any differences? In your cases, differences. Your cases, association. Your case, you too consider about the impact. Right? Those are the purpose. Those are the category. Those are under the first category. Then second one, level of measurement of your variables. You have dependent variable and also independent variables. Right? Most probably you have one dependent variable and number of independent variable. Right? In some cases you may have two dependent variables. Right? I ignore that part. At the very basic level, we have one dependent variable and number of independent variables. Then, what is the measurement scale? Right? What are the level of measurements? Level of measurements. We already discussed that level of measurements. No? What are they? How many? How many? Just now we discussed. Yes, 4. Nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. Right? Then here you are given the nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. Then you have to decide whether you are having nominal level data, ordinal level data, or interval level data, or ratio level data, or ratio as well. So ordinal as well as ratio level data, right? You may have number of times in the same data set or the questionnaire, right? Now you are also using you three are going to use, yes, you two going to use secondary data, you two going to use primary data. No? Is it correct? Not only only secondary data. How about you? No idea. Secondary data. Yes. Now another thing here. Now she need to identify the value relevance of accounting information. No, generally value relevance of accounting information. That means how investors use this financial details or the information for making their business decision or the decision, right? Then you can do that task through secondary data, right? Secondary data. Then you can match that dependent variable, maybe the stock return or the price. Yes. Then all other line items you can take as the that means line items in the financial statement you can take as the independent variables. In other way, actually if you are doing that research, you have to collect that data from investors. You have to prepare primary that means questionnaire, right? And also you have to conduct some focus group, right? You can collect that from them whether you are using that financial accounting information or not. How far they use that financial information? Can you say through secondary data? Now, if you are investing in the stock market, now can I decide it through secondary data, or what is the better way? I need to ask from you. Then I have to collect data from investors. Then how they use statistics, that means financial statement. In your case also, you can improve. Then parallelly you can conduct that secondary as well as primary data. That is called mixed method, right? If you refer them mixed method, then you can ask from auditors or the financial institution or the firms, right? Are there any, then from chartered accountants you can ask, are there any changes after introducing IFRS, and before that are there any changes in your operations and practices? You all can collect that data. Parallelly you can, yes, you can confirm that secondary results through primary data, right? You can improve your research, right? No, don't limit into the single data collection method, right? Don't try to pass your get your, don't try to complete your degree. And this is a very interesting task, right? You can improve your research and you can collect data, you can analyze them, right? You can learn about the softwares, right? Those are the additional gain from this type of program, right? If you know about the EVUs or the SPSS, right? That is the additional things gained from this type of program, right? Right. Then third one, the distribution of data, right? If you have ordinal or nominal data, those are under the qualitative category. Then we cannot go for the parametric test. Then definitely we have to use percentage analysis and other descriptive analysis. Then we cannot go for the parametric test. We can go for the non-parametric test. But if you have interval or ratio level, that means quantitative data, you can go for the parametric test. But totally we cannot say now you can go. Now if you have quantitative data, interval or ratio level data, then you must use that parametric test. We cannot say like that, right? What is the reason behind that? Yes, what is the reason behind that? Some data are not distributed normally. Some data that those are not then following parametric assumptions. There are a number of parametric assumptions, right? They are not following normal distributions. They are not following, sometimes they are not following that means heteroscedastic. There are a number of no multi-quality. There are some criteria for using parametric test. Further we can discuss, right? Then if it is following normal, now generally we need to consider this matter whether it is following normal distribution or not. That is the most important criteria for applying parametric test, right? If it is not following or non-normal or normal, if it is normal, then we can go for the parametric test. Otherwise, non-normal, we have to go to non-parametric test, right? Then number of samples and nature of the sample. Number of sample and nature of the sample, right? Actually, this fourth and fifth are interrelated, right? Then are the samples independent or related here? Independent or related? Independent or related, right? Then actually you can see 1, 2, 3. This should be 4 and 5. Then how many groups? Number of samples and how many groups, right? Then we have to think about them. Then in some cases we have 2 groups, right? In your case you have 2 pairs, not 2 groups, 2 pairs before and after, right? Here related sample, related sample. For related sample, it is not an independent one. Related sample, right? The same person giving their comments before and after. That means related, not independent, right? But if I if I test that previous example, I got that then male earn more than female. That is my claim or statement. If we need to test, we can collect data. Then our task is to test the income differences between male and female. Yeah, these two are separate person, no, independent. That is independent sample t-test. That previous one, yes, before the train, the performance before the training program and performance after the training program, right? Then these two are interrelated. Now I ask the same problem from the same person, right? What is your, yes, what is your performance before the training program and after the training program? Then same person or this that performance relating to the same person, right? That is called interrelated or the related sample. That is the difference between independent and related or paired. Is it clear? Right. Then how many groups? Then in some cases we have two groups, male and female, only two groups, right? Then if we need to measure that income level by getting four age groups in between 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, over 60. Then you have five groups, right? Not only two. At that time, you can test the differences or differences between groups or among groups. Then at that time, we can use analysis of variance, ANOVA, to measure the differences, right? We cannot use independent sample t-test. If we have two, then we can go to the independent sample t-test, but more than that, we have to go to ANOVA, analysis of variance. But condition is it should follow normal distribution. Otherwise, we have to go to Kruskal-Wallis test, that is under the non-parametric category, right? Then we can discuss further, right? Then these criteria are very much important for deciding your statistical test, right? Now, if I consider first matter, what is that? Purpose of your research or research question, right? Or problem. What is your research question asking, right? Is there a difference or association or relationship, or as I told earlier, then prediction or the impact, to measure the impact, it is also under that, right? Then we may have this type of two main purpose, right? Then again you can see number of statistical tests, parametric and non-parametric. I got only examples, right? There are number of things, right? How do you know which one to choose? Now, then again we have to go to the previous slides. Here, these are the criteria, right? Criteria to select them. Now, if we have this assumption, that means purpose, if you know that purpose of your research, now if we move to the first part, what is the first part? Yes, sorry, first part is there difference, right? Now, if we move to that, is there a difference? How do you know which test to choose for applying for this purpose, right? Purpose is to measure the differences, right? Then what are the variables? Now we have to think about the variable, right? And there are scales and other details. How are the variables measured? කොහොමද variable measure කරන්නේ? How to measure that variables, right? What is the distribution of the data? Whether it is following normal distribution or not, right? Then these are very much important, right? Then we can decide that statistical test. Next one, right? What is the Second point of our criteria here, level of measurement, right? Level of measurement. Then how we decide that statistical test under that level of measurement. How are the variables measured? Levels of measurement, right? There are a number of levels. Here we have quantitative data. Now level of measurements, nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio level, right? Further we can discuss one by one, right? Then qualitative and quantitative. Now if you take these two together, that is under the qualitative category, these two under the quantitative category. Further we can divide qualitative or non-numeric, or we can convert into numeric, right? Then for example, strongly agree 1, strongly disagree 1, disagree 2, moderate 3, then agree 4, strongly agree 5. Likewise we can convert into number, right? Here interval or ratio level data as per the nature, that is under the quantitative category. Then numeric, we can divide this into discrete and continuous. What is that? Discrete and continuous. Discrete mean countable number, number of students, number of customers, number of units, all are countable, right? Those are under that category. But continuous mean we can, yes, under the discrete variable we can see difference between two integers, 1 and 2. We cannot use 1.5, 1.35 likewise. That is the nature of discrete variable. But continuous mean we can see any particular yes, any value between two integers or two countable numbers, right? Then if you have yes, if you think about your salary, you can say my salary is 150,000 and 50 cents, right? Then that is under continuous. So you can see any particular value between two integers, 1.25, 1.35 likewise. Weight, height, if you take that type of things, then we can see some decimal answer also, right? That is the nature of continuous variable. Further we can discuss. There are some definitions. Now you can see that examples. This background is very much important for selecting a statistical test, right? Then you may have qualitative data, right? Qualitative data. Example also given. What are they? Marital status, political party, eye color. It is better to put gender, right? Gender, then country of birth, then province or the district, all name, all that mean categorical data, categorical data. Then quantitative data, yes, discrete for discrete variable, number of children and number of defective items per hour, likewise we can take this. Then continuous data, income, expenditure, height, weight, all quantitative data you can put under that category. Right. Now if I move to that qualitative data or the categorical data, then this is the definitions that for that, right? Qualitative or attribute variable, the characteristics being studied is non-numeric, non-numeric. Example also given: gender, religious affiliations, type of automobile owned, state of birth, eye color. You can see number of examples that category. Then clearly you have to identify them, right? You should have clear idea after discussing them, right? Very simple but very much important, right? You should have clear idea about this classification. What is the difference between nominal, ordinal, quantitative and qualitative? You should have clear idea after discussing them, right? Then this is quantitative information. Quantitative information is reported numerically. Example, balance in your accounts, minutes remaining in a class, in class, number of children in a family. In OLA, it may be discrete or continuous, right? Quantitative data. Then quantitative variable, yes, again we can divide into discrete and continuous. Discrete variable can only assume certain value and there are usually gap between values, two integers, right? The number of bedrooms in a hotel, right? We cannot say 1.5 rooms, right? Then we cannot use then countable one room or 2 or 3 or 5. We can use countable number. Number of members in a family also same, no? That is the way of presenting that discrete quantitative variable. Now, continuous quantitative variable. Continuous quantitative variables can assume any value within a specific range, right? Income and expenditure of a family. Then the pressure in the tire, the weight, height, right? All are example for that. I think you have clear idea. Then scale of measurement. Now, firstly we divide into then quantitative and qualitative. Now, quantitative as well as qualitative we can take together. The overall data we can divide into 4 categories, right? Then nominal and ordinal. That is the classification of qualitative data, and intervals and ratio. We can categorize interval and ratio, that is under the quantitative category, right? If you go to, yes, discuss one by one, right? You can use them. In empirical research, distinctions are often made between different levels of measurements or scales of measurements. Nominal level or scales, this is the lowest level of measurement. At this level, numbers are used to classify objects or objections. That means observations. This means now, if you take one example, male and female. Now here we have 50% female and 50% male. Then otherwise we can count 2 female and 2 male, 2 males, right? Then we can count for segregate that category, but we cannot make any operations. What is the average of this class? Average of male and female we cannot get. Mean, median we cannot get, no? The mode we can take. What is the mode of this class? Then if we have then 40 female and 30 male, then we can say mode is female, right? That is the nature of that type of nominal level data. Example, it is possible to classify a population into females and males, right? 1 and 0, 1 and 2, and also the same population can classified according to place of living as city center, south, north, east, west, likewise, right? District wise we can arrange, right? All are categorical and nominal level data. Then ordinal level data. Ordinal level data. This is very much important for your research work. If you are willing to collect data from primary sources, this is very much important, right? Then some variables are not only classifiable but also exhibit some kind of relationship allowing for rank order. We can see particular rank. Now you can see here very dissatisfied to very satisfied. -3 to +3, you can assign values. Or 1 to 5, 1 to 6, you can assign values. Right? Then finally you can convert this type of qualitative data into quantitative data. Now already now satisfaction level, you can say totally dissatisfied, uh, that means neutral or the moderate, satisfied, totally satisfied or very satisfied. Then you can arrange that type of wordings. Or otherwise you can arrange this type of values: 3, 4 totally dissatisfied or very dissatisfied, then +3, 4 very satisfied, or 1, 4 satisfied, 5, 4 1, 4 very dissatisfied, 5, 4 very satisfied. We can arrange values. Then we can convert that qualitative order into numerical order, right? Then interval level data. Then clearly you can identify difference between interval level data and further we have number of slides to explain that example. Now I got this one to say this differences, right? Interval level data, when we know that the exact distance between each observations and this distance is constant, then an interval level measurements has been achieved. This means that the difference can be compared. One should be compared to another one. The temperature rises from 8 to 10 or 12 to 14. Gap between these two centigrades, right? We can say like that. But you cannot take percentage, that means then gap between 10 and 20. Yes, if you take as a ratio 2/1, then difference between 20 and 40, again 40, that means 2/1, right? But these two are not equal. If you think about this temperature, that is the specific nature of this type of interval level data. But if you go to the ratio level data, we can take income, expenditure, height, right? Then one student's children height is 3 feet. Then another one 6. Then we can say then B then taller than, that mean you can see twice, or you can use that ratio, right? You can use that ratio. But here for interval level data we cannot use that type of ratios. That is the difference between ratio scale and the interval scale, right? Further, it is better to use this type of, now same thing, but I got this from a book. Now you can refer that examples to identify that nominal and ordinal level data. And also we need to take these examples, right? Example here, temperature, again temperature is the example. A cup, if you think this cup of tea at 80 centigrades isn't twice as hot and hotter one at 40 centigrades. Now you can clearly identify, then we cannot use these two as a ratio, or we cannot prepare a ratio by using these two figures. That is not reasonable. That is not meaningful. That is the nature of interval level data. But here, if you think of the income, if you have 50,000, other one has 100,000, you can see that ratio 1 to 2 or 200%. Or likewise, we can use that ratio. That is meaningful. But here, temperature, that is not a meaningful one. That is the most suitable example for interval level data. Actually, when you are doing research, no need to identify difference between interval and ratio because these two are quantitative. Then we can go for the parametric test, right? Right. Now you can see a number of additional example for nominal level data. Data that is classified into categories and cannot arrange in particular order. Right. Now it is very much clear. Now you can see example. We already discussed that type of example. If you have primary questionnaire, then you can see yes, no questions, female, male, is or is not, hot or cold. Now you can see some classifications, two classifications or three classification. Just we can classify, but we cannot see particular order, right? Vegetarian. Now you can see that there are some classifications, eye colors. Then here another example for examples are here for ordinal level data. Then perceptions and preferences, all are we can categorize as yes, here strongly disagree, moderate, agree, strongly agree, and so on. Good, better, best. Then you can see some number, ranking number for drinks, soft drinks, right? Again, we can see that type of nominal level data. Here, interval scale. Interval scale. Here again, you can see that example and also similar kind of example here. This means yes. This means that although we can add and subtract degrees, right? 100 centigrade is yes 10 warmer than 90, but we cannot say multiple value or create ratio, right? We cannot create a ratio by using two or more interval variables, right? This is for ratio level data. We can see mean input 0. Mean input 0 mean no value, but temperature 0 mean it has some value, no? Then we can see minus also. Right. Now we can refer number of examples here. Right. Now this is the another important chart. Now if you have nominal or ordinal level data, examples also given. You can classify and count in and rank in. Then you can yes, NP mean non-parametric test. You can apply for nominal and ordinal non-parametric test, and interval and ratio you can apply parametric test, and also you can make any kind of application, mathematical application operations, then classifying, counting, ranking, addition, subtracting, multiplication and division, right, for that quantitative level data. But you cannot get a ratio here, but here you can get a ratio. That is the difference between these two, right? Right. Again, this is for you. You can refer them, right? I'm not going to discuss again and again. These are examples for each level, right? There are a number of examples. Again, I got from book, right? Then what are the examples for nominal level data, ordinal level data, interval level data, and ratio level data, right? You can refer again, right? Again, examples for interval and nominal ratio and ratio level data. Right. Now, if you refer this document, now again you can see the same information. If you have nominal or ordinal level data, non-parametric test. If you have interval or ratio level data, parametric test. In addition to that, now here you can see measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion. Those are under the descriptive statistics, not that means inferential statistics. Inferential categorization here. Then if you are using central tendency measurement, mean, median and mode, mainly mean, median and mode, right? Normally when you are using your software, just you have to click mean, median and mode, right? Normally our students click in all mean, median, mode, get the output. Just copy copy that output as it is into the test, that means dissertation, then say something about that. We are not considering whether it is suitable for our variables or not, right? Then we should have clear idea, right? If we have categorical data, it is meaningless to take that ratio, that mean mean value, arithmetic mean, right? Now here, if we have nominal level data, it is meaningless to take mean and median also, right? Then most suitable one is mode. As I told earlier, if you have 40 female and 30 male, we can say mode is female, right? Again, qualitative data, gender, right? We can use mode, right? Here, if we move to the ordinal level data, ordinal level means example, strongly disagree to disagree. Then we can see particular classification or the order, right? Then at that time, we can take median. Median is meaningful than other measures of central tendency, right? Then we should have clear idea for selecting descriptive measures, right? No need to put all, no need to click on all variables, all measurements, right? We have to select only relevant measurements, right? Now, next one, interval level data or ratio level data, again quantitative data. You can use mean. Mean is the most important one, most suitable one, right? Arithmetic mean. Then here you can see use range, and here under dispersion, here you can see a standard deviation and a standard deviation again for quantitative data, right? Is it clear? Right. Now we completed level of measurement. Previously we considered purpose of your research. First criteria is most important one is purpose of your research, whether you are going to measure the differences or association or impact, as you said, right? Impact. Next we consider measurement scales. Whether it is under the nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval or ratio scale. If it is nominal or ordinal, we cannot apply parametric test, then we have to go to the parametric, non-parametric test. And also, if you are willing to use descriptive statistics, then we have to use mode. Yes, mode is the more important for nominal level data. And for ordinal level data, median is the most important one. If you have other quantitative, interval or ratio level data, it is better to use arithmetic mean, right? Then we discussed those things. Now we completed 2 criteria. Now third criteria, distribution of your data sets. You may have number of data sets, number of data variables. Then out of them, you have to take one by one, or especially we have to consider dependent variable. What is that distribution and nature of that distribution of your data set? If it is normal or non-normal, then how to measure them? Up to now we studied that histogram, no? Histogram, you know that? Histogram, right? Histogram, if you have histogram, you can identify the nature of your relation. If it is normal distribution, Yes, if it has a normal distribution, we can see symmetrically distributed curve, right? Then 50% on the right hand side, another 50 on the right hand side, right? Here, if you we can use you can measure normality through graphical approach, as I told earlier. Then by using that type of histogram, or in addition to that, we can use statistical test, Shapiro test. There are a number of tests for measuring this normality. Graphical approach, yes, graphical approach. Here you can use them, and this is statistical approach, case test and Shapiro test, right? Then here I am not going to test them, right? Further we can test it by using software package, right? Then after identifying them, then after testing them, we can decide whether it is following normal distribution or not, right? Now based on that results, we can decide appropriate statistical test, right, for that matter. Then again I incorporated then level of measurement as well as distribution. Level of measurement, nominal or ordinal or interval or ratio level, right? Then if you have nominal or ordinal level, now we know that we cannot apply parametric test, then we have to go to the non-parametric test. And also we discuss, if we have interval or ratio level data, then we can go for the parametric test, but 100% we don't have 100% sure whether we can apply parametric for each and every interval or ratio level data, right? What is that? Again we have to think about the parametric assumption. One is the distribution. If it is following normal distribution, that means interval and ratio scale data we have, and also it follows normal distribution, then we can go for the parametric test. Not only interval or ratio, right? Then if we have interval or ratio level data, but it is not following normal distribution, be here, you can hear this is interval or ratio level data with the non-normal distribution. Again we have to apply non-parametric test, right? Then I incorporated here two criteria. One is level of measurement, another one is nature of the distribution, right? Now when you are doing your research, now you may use primary data or secondary data, right? Then you can consider about the scale of measurement. Now in your case, you are going to take the impact of macroeconomic variables on stock return. Then macroeconomic variables, you may take what is that, interest rate or inflation, GDP or something, no, on stock return. Then uh, stock prices, then market prices, no, yes, market prices. Then you can yes, then all are quantitative, but you have to test the normality. Then if you take market return or market prices, then at that time uh, you have to test the normality. If it is following normal distribution, you can go for the correlation, that Carl Pearson correlation or regression, right? But if it is not following normal distribution, you have to go to that Spearman-Strand correlation coefficient, or otherwise you have to convert that data into normal distribution, right? There are some method, right? Is it clear? This is the summary of that two criteria, right? Level of measurement and uh, distribution. Do you need a break? No. Okay, we can continue, right? Right. Now, if you see this, now this is just a example, single variable. or salary or income or something, right? Now we can see single variable. At this time, you can, yes, you may have some idea. Now politician can say, now average, that mean low, then average income of a family is greater than 20,000. When one politician can say. Now our task is to, yes, we cannot argue with them without information, no. Then our task is to test them, test that claim or the statement, right? Then how to test them? We have to collect that data and we have to test whether that average salary or average income is 20,000 or not, or greater than that or less than that, right? Then we have single data set. Single data set means then if we take sample 20,000 or 30,000 families or 10,000 family or 1,000 family, we can enter that data. The data mean variable is one way. We have one variable. What is the variable? Family income. Then we have one variable like this, right? Then we can take mean value. We can test whether it is tallied with the claim 20,000 or not by using single or the T statistics test, right? Then further we can discuss them, right? Just I need to mention about the test, right? We have single variable. In some cases, we have more than one variable. Here, I think you have remember this data set, right? Here you have weight, no? 20 weights, yes. One from, yes, male population and one from female population. You have male and female variable category and also weight. Here you have two variable. What are they? Two variable? Male, female. No. First category is gender, male, female. First variable is gender. Second variable is weight. Right? Now we need to test whether there is a difference between male weight and female weight. Right? You can use descriptive statistics, mean, median, mode for testing them. Not testing, to measure the averages, right? Central tendency. In addition to that, we can use independent sample t-test for measuring the difference. That means whether it is statistically significant or not. We can measure through that type of test, right? Oh, again we have to test the normality. If it is normal, then we can go for the independent sample t-test. Then if it is not normal, non-normal, then we can go to the Mann-Whitney U-test, right? Under the non-parametric category. Right. Again, our test depends on that criteria. Here we have more than one group, right? Age groups or the other that mean regional groups. We can divide into number of groups. No? Then income. Yes, if we need to compare income among that mean Western province, Southern province, and Sabaragamu and Northwestern province. Now we have four provinces, right? Then if we need, now if we assume that four provinces here, then income of family, we can select sample from each province. Then we can enter data in this way. Then we can compare, right? Then what is the relevant statistical test? If it is following normal distribution, we can use ANOVA, analysis of variance, right? Then if it is not following normal distribution, we have to go to relevant non-parametric test, that is called Kruskal-Wallis test, right? Here then further we can discuss how to identify that type of test. One by one we can discuss. Further we can identify cases. Then through some cases you should be able to identify the relevant analytical tools, right? Then in the future we can discuss that type of things, right? Cases, right? Here this is the way. Then we can see this type of groups and details, right? Or in some cases you can see only two variables, right? Two variables here. At that time, you should be able to identify that dependent and independent relationship. Dependent variable and what is the independent variable, what is the relationship between these two, whether it is positive, negative, is strongly positive, is strongly negative, perfectly negative, or no relation, you have to identify. Right now, this is very simple, very popular example here. Then temperature and the ice cream demand for ice cream, right? Right. Then what is the relationship normally as per your uh, experience or the general knowledge? Yeah, positive relationship. When temperature is high, ice cream demand also high. Then positive relationship, right? And also we can use here these two are numeric variable, and if it is following normal distribution, we can go for the Karl Pearson correlation coefficient to measure the relationship. But if you need to predict, now if you have weather forecast, right, forecast for the next month, if it is 22 temperature is 22 centigrade, then what is the expected demand, we can predict through regression. Then we have to run the regression. What is the main purpose of running regression analysis? After running them, we can prepare a mathematical model, right? Mathematical model for explaining dependent variable. Right? In some cases we have only one independent variable. In some cases we can see more than one independent variable. Then by using one or more variable, independent variable, we can determine dependent variable. Then we can show that type of model for explaining that dependent variable, right? Then after preparing that model, we can assign different value for independent variables, expected independent variable, and finally we can identify the future or the future value or the predicted value for future period. Here, in this case, we have rank of student 1 and 2 on the television program, no, reality program. Here, this is here you have rank in data. Then how you rank them, right? Rank in data. Here, these are not real numerical value, rank value here. Then gap between these two are not meaningful, not equal, right? Just they rank, right? Therefore, you cannot apply Karl Pearson correlation coefficient for that. Then you have to apply Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Spearman's rank correlation coefficient for this analysis to measure the relationship between rank of student 1 and student 2. Is it clear? Next example here. Here usage period in years and selling price per computer, desktop or laptop. Right? Then again, what is the relationship? Yes, what is the relationship? Again, general knowledge should be there. No, no. What is the relationship? Whether it is positive or negative or what is that? Negative. When we are, yes, usage period is high, then price will decrease. No, that is the nature of the relationship. Then negative relationship maybe they are in between these two variables. Right. Now we can continue. No, we can continue. Right. Now you can see sources of data. Now I move to the second part of that. Now I didn't complete that data analysis part, right? How to identify analytical tool and how to what are the criteria for selecting an appropriate statistical test. we discuss, that means we discuss about the scope, right? Further we have to discuss one by one, right? Then we have number of parametric method and also non-parametric method. Further we can discuss, that is only the scope, right? Now again I need to move to that date. Then under the designing part, before designing your research work, you should be able to understand this type of data collection method, what are the data collection method and sampling method, right? Then issues on these selections, all you have to discuss, right? Now I move to the sources of data. Then we can see two types of sources, primary sources and secondary sources. What is the meaning of that, primary sources? No, your idea is correct, but definition is not correct, right? Then if we are using data for our study, yes, for our study, that means our own data, right? We can collect data ourselves for our study purpose or our research purpose, right? Then that is called primary data. You can use questionnaire or observation method or focus group discussion, key informant discussion, right? Face-to-face interviews or the then other participatory participative investigation. You can do them, right? Then you are going to collect data for your own research, right? For your research purpose. You are going to use your own data. That is called primary data. But if you are going to take published data, published by, that means other department or other institutions. For example, if you are now you need to use in your research, you have to use data published by Colombo Stock Exchange, All Share Price Index, right? And also you have to use central bank report or census and statistics report. Then you are going to use secondary data. You are going to use others data for your own research, right? That is called secondary data. But central bank they also yes, central bank also run some research, right? They are using their own data, they are published data. They are those are primary data for them, right? But if you are using them, then secondary data. Then I think you have clear idea about the primary sources and the secondary sources. There are number of primary sources and secondary sources. What are the primary sources? We discussed now. Questionnaire, key informant discussion, observation, then face-to-face interviews, focus group discussion. There are a number of methods. Telephone conversation through that mean email or the message, you can collect that data, right? Then second one, print media or the electronic media, you can get secondary data, not only the print media, right? Then electronic media also you can use. Then if you can go to the website and for example again you can use CSC web for getting secondary data, no? Secondary data, CSC web. Then that is under the secondary category. You can use different data. In your research, you are going to secondary data from where? Share market, right? Then he needs to collect data from yes, working capital information and also the performance, no? Yes, from the annual reports. Annual report you can gather from the CSC web, right? Or you can take audited reports or the quarterly report, right? Then you can get that information. Yeah, in your case also, you are going to get secondary data, right? Then parallelly you can use primary data too. In your case, annual reports again, secondary data, right? Here, then most probably then how many? One students here, one more students here. Yes. Then here most probably we can use primary data in addition to that secondary data. Secondary data in addition to that primary data also we can use. In parallelly we can use primary as well as secondary data too, right? Then it is depend on our research topic and issues, right? These are the primary data collection method. It is better to know that merits and demerits of that data collection method, right? Then it is, I think, generally you can say that you can get idea about this. Then here under the questionnaire, we can arrange a well-structured questionnaire. It should be well-structured questionnaire. Then we can distribute among the respondents, or otherwise we can arrange a self-administrative questionnaire. Then we can fill their view, perception, and information into our questionnaire, right? Then there are some merits as well as demerits, right? Further we can discuss. Then observations, personal or the face-to-face interview. We can interview them, right? Then there are a number of opinion survey, opinion survey for some uh, campaign there, right? If you think about that, politicians, they are getting that opinion survey, right, to take their view, right? Then again we can see person to person, face to face interviews and observation, as I told earlier, that vehicle example, right? How many vehicles enter into the Colombo city, right? Then telephone conversation or the interviews, focus group discussion. Then if you need to take highly that mean secret things, that mean confidential things, you can collect from this uh, focus group discussion, right? As I told earlier, in your case also, then what are the informations that they need to apply? Then sometimes we don't know. Now if we are using questionnaire method means predetermined method. You should have clear idea about the options, right? Then otherwise we cannot prepare that question, right? But if we have, yes, if we are with that open mind, yes, focus group discussion should be there to get that idea. For example, I also participate in a number of focus group discussion. One is from regarding to social science study, the sociological study, that is called that mean illegal arms, right? Then usage of illegal arms, right? I went to that area, what is called Nikavarati area, one day night. That one Gramaldari has organized that type of commit meeting. Normally, that number of members of that focus group in between 5 and 15, right? 5 and 15, right? More than that, it is difficult to manage, right? Then less than that, yes, it is difficult to get idea from them. Then normal nature of this type of focus group discussion, I think it is a new thing for our management student, and also we can use them, right? In your organization also you can use. Then we can arrange 5 to 15 members, and we can give that topic. Now illegal arms, then we can give that topic, and we can start from our wordings. Then they are arguing. Then our task is to recording and reporting, right? Then we can identify their things. Then they are talking about yes, they told about that they collected how to collect that illegal, but the way of getting that, and then how they use them, and time and the venue, all you can identify through that type of things. Otherwise, if you prepare a questionnaire, they will not uh, fill them, right? Then illegal things, no. Then we should have some. Then we should maintain some confidentiality also, right? Right. Then key informant discussion, key informant of that area. Sometime we have to get the details from then father or the priest or the reverend of that area, or Gramalindari, or then AGA, right? We have to take some detail OIC of that police area. Then we have to get that details, right, about the area. Right. Those are the key method for getting primary data. In addition to that, you can use technology to take that details, email, message, campaign, right? However, you can get data from that sources. Here, this is regarding survey design, how to design our survey. Now, I got this brief idea, right? Uh, Define the issues. First of all, we should have purpose, no? Purpose of our study or the survey. Then we have to identify the clear issue and objective for this study. Then define population of interest. What is the population of interest? Out of that population, we have to select sample, representative sample. Define population of interest. Formulate survey questionnaire. Survey questions. Make questions clear and unambiguous, right? It should be clear. Use universally accepted definitions. Now, in some cases, we are using productivity, efficiency, then effectiveness. Then we have some that mean standard definitions. Then we have to apply them. Then we have some standard questionnaire to measure them efficiency, right? Then we have to apply them. And also we have to limit number of questions, right? Then pre-test the survey. Pre-test the survey means pilot survey. We can conduct a pilot survey. Then we can revise our questionnaire. I think I already discussed about this. Then define sample size and the sampling method, right? Select sample and administer the survey. And this is the way of conducting our sample survey. Then general idea should be there. In some researchers that we actually, in some cases they are conducting survey type research. Then at that time that process is very much important. Here then when we prepare some questionnaire, then we have to have some categories. Now closed-end questions, as much as possible we have to take closed-end question. Then respondent should click on that answer options, right? That is the way. In addition to that, we can get open-end questions to take their views, then their suggestions, right? We don't know. Sometimes, most probably, we cannot predetermine all the expected answer, right? In some cases, we have unpredictable things. Then we can get that information through open-end question. What is your suggestions to overcome these issues? Likewise, we can write them. They may write different answer. Then those are the important findings. No, those are the important findings of our research. Then in addition to that, general information, demographic information, their name, residence and address, telephone, email, other gender, education, qualification, employability, and all details we can take under the demographic category. Those are very much important. Right. Now, if we think about this population of interest, now in some cases we can collect data from population. We can observe about the population, whole population. If we are conducting that type of survey, that is called census. Every 10 years time in Sri Lanka we are doing that things, no? Not we are, conducted by the Census and Statistics Department, right? They are doing that task. But most probably when you are doing research, in your case, you cannot do that task, right? Due to various things. One is time, another one is cost, right? Then in some cases we cannot, practically we cannot do. For example, now you need to test your blood. Then how to do that? Again, we have to take the sample, no, instead of population. We cannot get population, no, right? Then we have to take the sample. Now, if we need to test this lifetime of this bulb, right, after testing lifetime, we cannot use, no, right? If we take then every product to the to test them, yes, no, you need to sell, right? Then it is not, it is not practical, right? Then at that time we have to use the sample. But if we can consider about the population, it is, yes, it will give good picture about the issues, right? Then here census method. Now merits of this census method. The data are collected from each and every item of the population. That is benefit, right? The results are more accurate and reliable because every item of universe is required. Then intensive study is possible. The data collected may be for various survey and analysis. The limitation also there, it requires a large number of enumerators, supervisors and costly method, right? You know that, no? It requires more money, labor and time energy. It is not possible in some circumstances where the universe is infinite and also practically we can do something, right? I gave that example, right? Then reason for selecting sample. Now when you are doing your research, you are going to select sample. In your case, you have number of companies, no? Right? You also same. In your case also same. IFRS relevant to yes, number of companies, but you are going to collect, yes, limited number, right? And representative sample. It should be representative sample, right? Then what are the reason behind that? Here complete enumerators are practically impossible when the population is infinite. That is for primary data. When the not only primary data, now if it is yes, if we are going to collect data from secondary sources, again we have to assign some people. No, if it is large, then we have to assign people for doing that task, right? Then we have to assign number of people, right? When the results are required in a short time, then our expectation is, now in your case you have to provide your research within one year or less than that. Now as per as per this details, within 6 months or 7 months you have to provide your output results. When the area of survey is wide, right, we can see geographical different area. Then in one side we have to go to Jaffna, then Hambantota, then Batiklo, here Goal, right? Then we can see geographically different areas. It is difficult to manage. When resources for survey are limited, particularly in respect of money and trained person or enumerators. When the item or unit is destroyed under investigation, like this one, right? If we need to test lifetime of the bulb, then practically we cannot do, no? Practically we cannot do manage that type of census. Then definitely we have to select sample. Every 1000 we can select one unit of every 1000 productions or the output, right? Here merits and demerits of sampling. What are the merits? Sampling saves time and labor. It results in reduction of cost in terms of money and man-hour. And sampling ends up with great accuracy of results. Great accuracy, how can we expect? Now, under the census method, they are searching each and every item of the population. But if we have, if we don't have that enough number of enumerators, it is difficult to collect that type of data. That means then it is difficult to maintain accuracy, right? But if we are selecting small and representative sample, we can pay more attention on that small sample and we can collect real data from them. That is the reason behind that merits, right? Sampling ends up with the greater accuracy of results. Then it has greater scope, it has greater adaptability. If the population is too large or hypothetical or destroyable, sampling is only method to be used. Again, you can see practical situation. And limitation also there. Sampling needs to be done by qualified and experienced persons. Otherwise, the information will be unbelievable, or it is difficult to maintain good accuracy. Then sample method may give the extreme values sometimes instead of the mixed values. Then you know that extreme values, right? There is there's the possibility of sampling errors. Census survey is free from sample error. Sample error, due to the sample, we can see some sampling error. Then when we are selecting that sample, we need to pay attention on that. We need to pay attention to minimize that sampling error. Right? That's why I told that it is better to use representative sample, right? Then it is easy to say you must select a representative sample, but there may be sampling error, right? Then we have to minimize. We cannot ignore, right? Actually, we cannot ignore that sampling error, but we can minimize them, right? Right. Then, then this is regarding primary data and the secondary data. You can refer these details. I am not going to discuss one by one. Then there are limitations and there are merits, demerits, right? All you are given. Now, this is very much important for primary data collection. Then, what are the important criteria that should be maintained by the researcher, right? Now, when we are designing questionnaire, then we have to consider this type of important matters. Number of questions should be minimum. Number of questions should be minimum. Then, as much as possible, we have to take limited number of questions into the structured questionnaire. And question should be in a logical manner, logical order, moving from easy to more difficult questions. Then easy question, we have to start from that, then we can go to the advanced one. Then third one, question should be shorter and simple. Technical terms and vague expressions capable of different interpretation should be avoided, right? Then sometime we may have that mean unambiguous or the double meaning words, right? Then we have to ignore that type of word as much as possible. Then questions fetching yes no answer are preferable. There may be all yes no answer or multiple choice questions, MCQs. Then questions personal questions and questions which require memory power and calculation should also be avoided, right? Now, sometimes we are asking what is the percentage for expending for education. It is difficult to calculate, no, or 10% or 20%. But if they ask what is the amount total expenditure and what is the amount for education, you can calculate it, right? Or otherwise, we can use our package for calculating them, right? In some research, most probably some development studies, so then some evaluation project evaluations also they are asking how about your income before 10 years ago and now. It is impossible to take accurate answer, right? It is difficult to memorize them, no? Then we shouldn't ask that type of questions, right? Actually, we can ask, but we cannot get real answer, right? Accuracy answer. What is the method for that? What are the method for avoiding that type of issues? Before 10 years ago, details, how can we take it? we should have baseline data, right? Before starting that type of project, we are conducting survey and we are preparing proposal, right? Then at the beginning, we are preparing that proposal and accepting them. Then then most probably they start the project. Therefore, at the beginning, we should have that income details, expenditure details, and their other family background, all are on that baseline details or baseline research. Then we can compare with the, that means again, now we have to use the secondary data. Baseline research already published, no? Then we can get details from them. We can compare with them. Right. Not only that, now we have additional qualities. Questions should be enables cross-check and deliberate or unconscious mistakes can be detected to an extent. Then we have to conduct sample survey and we have to arrange our questionnaire to check the that type of discrepancies. Then in some cases we can see, yes, in some opinion survey they are filling their own view without discussing with the respondents. Then enumerator can fill them. Then we should be able to identify that questionnaire and that questionnaire filling approaches, right? Then we have to arrange cross-sectional cross-checking questions, right? In some cases, now feedback session. Now you also have feedback session, feedback for subjects. Then some are not interesting. Just click all very bad or very good or moderate, right? Then tick in that way, following the same way. Then it is not a logical way. Then we should have arrange some questions in different way. Right? Then we can cross check whether he or she consider this matter or not. Right. Now seventh one, questions should be carefully framed so as to cover the entire scope of survey. Then when we are writing our proposal, we have a scope and the objectives, then all we have to cover through this questionnaire, right? Then after collecting that data, then when we are writing, sometime we may need to get some other information. We cannot do that task. Already we conducted that sample survey, right? Before the sample survey, we have to arrange questionnaire including all important variables. We have to have a checklist to test that questionnaire, right? Whether we cover all independent variables and dependent variables from this questionnaire. We have to have checklist. Then the wordings of questions should be proper without hurting the feeling or arousing resentment, right? There may be some double meaning words or sometimes we have to think about the area, right? Then I also have some experience relevant to that regarding that tsunami situation, right? We went to Negombo area. Then after the tsunami date, then our students, they asking Ayya kohomada yanne? That is the question asked. That word is not suitable for them. Then there may be argument, right? Then arguments. Then I went to that place and it is difficult to settle. Then how finally I settled them and they help us to get information. Then they have some issues with the government at that time, right? Government, and they try to get some benefit from the government. Then we went there for getting information, right? Not for giving some uh, that mean subsidies, right? Then they are trying to get them, and they understood in different way. Then we have to manage them, right? Then questionnaire also, when designing questionnaire, then we have to consider that type of specific words and uh, some double meaning words, right? As far as possible, confidential information should not be sought, right? Then if we need to take that confidential information, then we have to conduct focus group discussion and other method, right? No need to no need to include that type of questions to the questionnaire, that they don't know, they don't like to fill them. That is the reason. Physical appearance should be attractive, sufficient space, and space should be provided for answering each question. Then we have to have a very well attractive questionnaire, and space should be there, right? Sometime we can see very complicated questionnaire, then we don't like to fill them, right? Then you also already filled number of questionnaire, no, for other researchers and institutions. That is the reason. Then it should be attractive questionnaire, right? Then merits of mailed questionnaire. It is relatively cheap, less cost and time consuming, and preferable when informants are spread over a wide geographical area. And limitations also there. Greatest limitation is that the informants should be literates, right? Literacy level is very much important for applying this questionnaire method. It is possible that some of the person who receive the questionnaire do not return them. Then the main issues of that questionnaire method is response rate. If you use mail questionnaire, normally 30%, that response rate is less than 30%. 30%. Then in my PhD research, also relating to that value relevance and the information usage of investors, then institutional investors and also private investors, individual investors. Then I distributed 800, I printed 800 questionnaire. Ultimately, I got 255 uh, questionnaires by using my relationships too. Right? They don't like to fill them. Right? They are in the different that mean mind. Right? They always show in their details and demand and supply and price changes, right? They are always with that board, right? And they always seeking information. They don't like to fill our questionnaire, right? Then it is better to apply self-administrative questionnaire, right? I assign number of friends. Then I got that information. Then out of that 800, I got 255, and I got institutional information from website, right? Send questionnaire to top level management and the CEO and other relevant investment related organizations, right? Right, this is relating to that process, and yes, next one, self-administrative questionnaire, right? We can prepare questionnaire, same questionnaire, then we can give that questionnaire to our enumerators. We can assign enumerators and supervisors. Then we can send that enumerators with questionnaire. Then they can discuss with the respondents and they can fill that questionnaire. Finally, we can get information from there. Then there are some benefits from that self-administrative questionnaire. It is flexible with the people, right? People and the area. Sometimes we cannot prepare common questionnaire for all area, right? They are using separate different that mean language, right? Then we can arrange relevant person or the enumerators for each area. That means if they are using Tamil language, we can train Tamil enumerators and we can send them, right? We can fill the final, we can fill their details. But yeah, if you are using questionnaire, yes, it is difficult to manage them. Not only the language, right? Then if they are yes, if they have some literacy problem, then we can discuss with them. Then we can fill it, right? Then we can control that issues also, and also we can get reliable information than they are filling. They are filling, sometimes they are filling wrong details, especially income and income details. No, income details. They always fill in less amount, right? Less income, but enumerators can judge whether that amount is correct or not by seeing their houses and other that mean movable assets and other details, right? They can decide. Yes, 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 yes. Expenses also now in some cases expenses also they are giving low amount, right? Then we can get idea about that. And in addition to that, if we yes, if we go there, then they are most probably they are giving exact, that mean approximately correct value, rather than fill in questions themselves, right? Okay. Then merits also, primary data, secondary data, and merits of primary data and secondary data. I'm not going to discuss again and again. Uh, Next is sampling method, right? Now, scope of this sampling method. Now, we discuss what is the scope of selecting that analytical tools. Next, we go to the data collection method. Roughly, we discuss. Here, fortunately, you are going to collect data from secondary sources, right? Then, however, this knowledge is very much important for you. But now, if we are using selecting secondary data or primary data, we have to apply sampling method, right? What is the relevant sampling method for your research? Now, can I take idea from you? What you are going to apply sampling method? 43 companies, all hotel companies. Then in your you have that evidence from hotel industry. Then you can collect all 43 companies, right? In your case, uh, yeah, yes. Then judgmental sampling, yeah. Then you can judge that higher capitalization, no, capitalization level, right? In your case, no idea, huh? Commercial banks. You are going to take commercial bank, right? In all commercial bank, 10 commercial bank. Then how to select them? What are the criteria for selecting them? It is ad hoc decision or profitability. Then when you are selecting your sample, it should not be affected to your purpose, right? Purpose of your research, right? Then again you have to careful with them. Now, if I select a bias sample, now for example, now if I use random sampling method, now further we can discuss under the probability sampling. First one, simple random sampling method. If I use them, in some cases I may have only female girl, the female for my sample, only males for my sample. At that time, I have biased details. No? Yes, yes. Software also there, but when we are selecting them, we can see if I select randomly, we can say only random. No? Randomly we can see only female, only male, right? Whether we are going to apply computer software or not, then we can see that is the problem. Then we can see bias details. Likewise, then if you are selecting sample, that means company, sample companies in by considering your own way, then you can see bias sample. So sometimes you are considering then easy to collect data, convenience sampling, right? Then that is not suitable for applying that type of parametric test. Then again consider that concept. It should be a representative sample, right? In your case, listed bank, all the listed bank, it's okay. All the listed bank. Then topic also include listed bank, no? Then it's okay. Your case also same, right? Then if you need to compare two sectors, right? You can add your value, no? If you need to compare two sectors, differences between two sectors. Now, bank versus financial institutions, bank versus insurance companies, bank versus manufacturing organization, bank versus trading organization, trading versus manufacturing organization. Then you can add values to your research. Then at that time you have to select two. Then again stratified random sampling. We had first of all we had stratified. We had to identify that stratas. Then we can select from number 10 companies. We can select randomly or randomly from manufacturing sector. Another 10 companies from banking sector. Likewise, we can arrange that type of sampling method. Further we can discuss, right? Now, these are this convenience sampling and all are non-probability sampling, right? This is under the probability sampling. Probability sampling, not only this, that is, these are only, for example, simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, systematic random sampling, cluster sampling. There are number of sampling method, probability sampling method. Now, if we move to the probability sampling method, these are very much important. Now, first one is simple random sampling method. Simple random sampling, very simple random sampling. If we have list of population of interest or the sample frame, right? If you have a sample frame, we can use lottery system or random number system to select them, right? Now, for example, now we have 4. Now, I need to give you then special benefit for you, that means gift or something. Now, I need to select one of you. Now, I can use first name, your name, second, third, fourth. Then I can select one of them, right? That is called lottery system. Right? Then I can select only one. Now, if I have 100 students, right? Then I need to select. If I select, I need to select only 40 students. Then I should have sampling frame. Then 100 students and their names and numbers. Then again I can use lottery system to select 40. Right? That is the way of applying random sampling method. In addition to that, we have that is called random number table. Random number table to select that item for the sample. For example, lottery system, you know that, no? This is the merit random number, right? Random number system, and there are merits and demerits also here. You can read them. Now, this is the random number extracted part of the random number table. You can see random number table. If you refer each and every statistical books, at the end you can see random number table, right? Now, this is the extracted one, right? Here, this is the extracted random number table. Now, please see this example. Yes, in an area there are 500 families. Using the following extract from a table of random numbers, select a sample of 15 families to find out the standard of living of those families in that area. Now, our task is, now we need to study about the population, that means families, right? Out of 500, we need to select now. Now it is difficult to observe 500. Then we need to select only 15. Out of 500, we have to select 15. Then how to select 15 from this type of random number table? Then first of all, we have to identify number of digits in the population. Now we have 500. How many digits? 500, 3 digits, right? 3 digits. Then we can start from any numbers of this point, vertically or horizontally. We can follow, but we cannot miss any numbers in between two, right? Then if I start from here, I can follow 465. Now I should have 500 list of families, right? Otherwise I cannot apply that random sampling, right? Random sampling. In some cases they are using I randomly selected. That is wrong, right? Without having that sample frame or list of your population, you cannot apply some random sampling, right? Then how to select them? Then if I start from here, 465, then in my list I can get first one 465, next one 2 3 8, 3 digit, no? Then 238, again I can select 238, then 198, right? Likewise I can select, right? In this example, they are starting from this third row. In the above random number table, we can start from any row or columns and read 3 digit numbers continuously, row wise or column wise, right? Now how to select them? Then we are telling, now I can say, now you can select lottery, you can use lottery system or random number system, but we should know about the way, no, right? How to select them? Now if I start from this point 203, 203 here is if I start from third row, 203 here, 203, next 023, that means 23rd, right? Next 277, 277, then 353, 353, next 600, 600, 794, 794, then 794, 109, 109, then 179, 179, then 272, 272, then 284, 284, then 450, 450, then 641, 641, then 148, 148, 082, sorry, 9082, 280, 280. Now we completed 15, right? After completing 15, we have to stop them, right? Now you can see. Yes, can you select 203, third, 23rd, 277, 357, here 600. Can you select 600? Now we have only 500, right? Then what to do? Yes, our population size is 500. Then always we have to reduce 500 from that 600, right? Then it's become 100. Again, next 794, again we can reduce 500, then it's become 294. Then next 109, okay, 179, okay, 272, okay, 284, okay, 400. Next one is 641. Again we have to reduce 500 from 641, then 141 should be there. Then 980 also, 8 also same, we can reduce 500, then it's become 408. Right? Now these are the selected numbers, right, after reducing that 500. Yeah. then we have 1 to 500 list, then we can select 15 out of that. That is the way of using uh, random number table. Is it clear? Right? It is very much important for selecting. Otherwise, some are using that term randomly I selected, but they don't know how to select them, right? Then the next one is stratified random sampling. Stratified means, first of all, we have to identify the status. What are the main issues of this random number system, random sample system? Yes, we can see only one or two categories. Right? For example, if I use random number table, now I need to select two. Right? By that it should be a representative one. But if I select only female, or if I select only male, then bias sample. Then that is the main issues of this random sampling method. But we can use stratified random sampling to solve that problem, right? Stratified random sampling we can use. How to use them? First of all, we have to divide into status, male, female. Within the female, we can use again random sampling method. Within male, we can again use random sampling method. That's why we use the stratified. It should be stratified random sampling here, not here. Stratified random sampling. First task is to divide into status. Next, again apply random sampling method. Right? A stratified plus random. Is it clear? Here you can see this example. Right? What is the process? Population divided into subgroups or the strata. Simple random sample selected from each subgroups. Again, apply simple random sampling method. Right? Here you can see examples. First of all, we can divide into status. We can see 4 status. Out of 4, we can see 3 from here, 3 from here, 3 from here, 3 from here. Here, altogether 12. Is it clear? Next, example also here. Now, please read this example. A sample of 50 students is to be drawn from a population consisting of 500 students belonging to 2 institutions A and B. Then the number of students in the institution A is 200 and B is 300. How will we draw the sample using population allocation? Proportional allocation. Then proportional allocation means again stratified sampling. Now here you have stratified sampling. Then total population is 500. 500 out of 500, 200 from A and 300 from B. Then we can now our target is to identify 50 students, 50 sample size is 50, right? Then further we can discuss how to decide sample size, right? Now if you already decided it 50, now how to take this? Then out of 500 we have to take 50 sample, but then we have to think from 200. How many? 20. Then again 500 we have to select 50 from 500, then from 300, then 20 from A and 30 from B. Now we can apply random sampling method for identifying 20 from institution A and 30 from institution B. Is it clear? Right. Then merits and demerits, right? It is more representative because we can identify different status, and it's ensure greater accuracy. It is easy to administer and greater geographical concentration reduces time and expenses, right? And also there it has some issues also. If you have homogeneous sampling, a homogeneous population, At that time, no need to divide into status, right? In our case now, we are going to get information from only male, right? Our research based on only male, or only female, the same group, then no need to apply that type of stratified random sampling. We don't have status, right? But if it is heterogeneous, then we can see some differences, right, among the members of the sample or population. Then we have to apply stratified random sampling. Then next one is systematic random sampling. Systematic. Systematic mean I think it is basic. It is easy to understand through this example, right? Now, please go to this example. Yes, I got this from book, right? Now you can see again we need to identify 50 out of 500 population, right? Then how to take them? Now our yes, our target is to take 50 from 500. Then total population, yes, n, population is capital N, then sample is simple n. Then this case that is the sampling interval, right? Sampling interval. Then we can divide this by 50. Then you can see answer is 10. Then that means we have to select one every 10 from every 10 students, right? Then we can arrange our table or the list of 500. Then we can select one from each, right? Yes, one from first 10. Then we can follow the systematic way. Systematic way mean if I select first, now if I select fifth one randomly I can select by using random table method or by using lottery method. I can select one. Now if I select fifth one, then next one is should be 5 plus 10, 15. Then 15 plus 10, 25th, 35, 45, 55. Likewise, I can select up to last one should be 495. Right? Then we can select 50 out of 500. Right? If I select 3 first, randomly if I select 3, then 13, 23, 33, 43, 53, last one 493. If I select 9, 19, 29, 39, last one should be 499. Right? That is the way of applying that systematic random sampling. Again, systematic random sampling. Na? Is it clear? Again, you can see merits and demerits. Here you can see the way of doing that. Examples also here. Next one, cluster sampling. Here we are, here in this case, most probably for the social studies, we are using, we are selecting cluster, right? Here, population is divided into several clusters, each representative of the populations. A simple random sample of cluster is selected. All items in the selected cluster can be used, or items can be chosen from a cluster using another probability sampling techniques, right? Now there are some alternatives. Now one is you can divide into cluster and out of that cluster we can select again sample. Or otherwise we can use, after selecting that cluster, all we can observe. Right? In your case, you are going to select banking sector or finance sector, then study about all companies, right? Then we can see some combination in your research. You can combine two or more, right? Exactly we cannot say now we are applying this method, but you can say proportionately you can you can use a stratified random sampling, right? Or the proportionate representative sample, right? No need to say convenient sampling, right? Most of our students, they are using convenient sampling method. Method mean using sample. What is the reason for selecting this subject, this research topic? Some are telling my friend gave me this topic, and my company, my mother's or my father is working at that organization. Then I can easily collect data from them. Then I selected this topic. Likewise, they are telling again convenience sampling, right? But if you are applying that random, that mean parametric statistical test, that is not so good to use. That is also a compulsory requirement. Randomly, then you have to select random sampling, no probability sampling method. Probability now all are probability, no, right? Rather than that convenience or convenience sampling or quota sampling, those are not suitable for applying parametric statistical test. Right. Now I think if you have any doubt or hesitation, or uh, if you need to discuss about your issues, right, you can discuss them today or next time. Then further you can uh, read them, right. Please use these slides, and you can clear them. If you have any doubt, you can discuss with me, right. Now if you have any problem, you can ask. That mean, yes. Other sectors. No. Don't confuse this one, because don't confuse with that model. Now this is the regression model. Regression model. Then regression model, and you have to yes, you have to follow with some theoretical base, right? Then previously I told that, now that is again you have to think about your purpose. Now I told that purpose. Now purpose is yes, her purpose is to measure the differences. Here you all are considering about the association and the impact, right? Then if you are measuring impact, then it is better to use that regression model, right? Only the thing is, then you have to test that normality, and based on that you have to go ahead, or otherwise you can sometime you may have the non-normal data set. But if you increase number of sample size, or number of years, or number of companies, then again it will become normal data set, right? Then you can use regression again, right? Then at that time you have to test them, right? Panel data. Yes, panel data and time series. In that cases, we have, yes, we have three types of, mainly we can see three types of data. One, yes, that mean pattern of data. One pattern is, you can see, then time series data. For example, sales details during 15 years, last 15 years, the year and time, sales. That is called time series data. You can put here one column as your year, 2000, 2001 up to 2015 or 16, and another variable here, sales or profit, only one variable. That is time series data, right? In some cases you have cross sectional data. Cross sectional data mean we are collecting data for a particular time period, right? Or this academic, this financial year, right? You identified number of companies, sales of number of companies, right? Number of companies. Then that is called cross sectional data. right? Another case, as you asked, we can see longitudinal or the panel data. Panel data mean we have uh, year-wise classification also, that means time series as well as cross-sectional combination of that. For example, if you are getting information for, yes, return, stock return, earning per share, dividend per share, payout ratio or something for number of companies for number of years, right? In your cases, you are not going to apply them, no? That is the difference between them. Then different applications, different statistical tools can be applied for them, right? Now, when you are doing this type of research, actually it is better to use website. You can openly type. Then what is the difference between time series data and cross-sectional data? Cross-sectional data and as you asked, that panel data. What are the analytical method for panel data? Right, all you can get, and you can get rough idea about it. Further, we can develop, right? Then sometimes you may have questions, right? Issues when you are doing research. Then you may have some issues. Now, in my case, I had a problem to solve that. Yes, same problem. I have panel data. Panel data at that time I need to. My topic was for in my diploma, postgraduate diploma. I did postgraduate diploma in Jadanapura. At that time, I had a problem to identify that analytical tool before 12 years ago, right? Then at that time, I asked from number of statistical expertise and asked from them. Then they don't have idea about them. I search now. At that time, actually, we don't have much details. It is difficult to collect data from website. But I searched them and I identify that I identified my method that is called time regression model, right? I applied time regression model, pool time regression model, right? Then as a students, that means postgraduate students, I identified them and I applied, and I also depend in my Viva. Then it's okay, right? Then we have to search them, right? In your cases also, now I think that your research is somewhat rare, right? Rare research. Now we can see number of research, but in the Sri Lankan context, it is difficult to identify standard research. But you three have number of research articles, right? Easily you can collect data, collect that research and also the method for applying your research. Therefore, you have some risk also. If you have any mistake, then they're popular one, no? Right? Popular one. Therefore, then that kind of questions may be arise from the yes, guideline. Yes, you have benefits as well as issues also, right? Then if you are doing new thing, then we have better chance than others, right? We have some excuses also. Okay, thank you.